What's Netanyahu's excuse going to be this time? President Trump put.
So Trump has not turned his back on Netanyahu. That Steve Bannon would love that, because if you notice with these people, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Steve Bannon, all the ones that hate the Jews, and I think everybody knows who they are by now. They're getting like anxious the more this war goes on. And see, that's what I've always noticed in my adult life, is that somebody, it's usually us, that always stops Israel. And I've always thought, this is bullshit. These terrorist organizations are never held accountable for their monstrous activities. Everybody just turns it on Israel. Well, no, those are just the people that are disciples of Satan. They are. They are. Am I saying, if God wanted to stop Israel, he could. God isn't stopping him. But see, this is what I mean. There's been this taught that, no, God's just about love, and he is. He is. Please don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted, what I'm saying here. But again, what is God's view of love? I mean, the Old Testament is full of war and killing. Yeah, God, the Old Testament is full of nothing, is constantly of war, and again, it was a barbaric time, but God was having them go in and kill everybody in Canaan, and and that's the reason a lot of people are just like, I don't want anything to do with that God. Well, that's too bad. He brought us the law. Our Constitution is built much around, and because the Bible itself is in some ways, some of the books are very much a legal document. I mean, there is the courts of heaven. I believe the courts of heaven have green-lighted Netanyahu to do this. I do. So, and I think a lot of this, Donald Trump, the reason he's trying to say this is because Donald Trump I'm not going to read this long. It was out at 3:20 this morning. He posted this morning, the Trump administration was notified by the United States military that Israel was attacking Hamas, which very unfortunately was located in a section of Doha, the capital of Qatar. Yeah, they're just like, this was a decision made by Prime Minister Netanyahu. It was not a decision made by me. Unilaterally bombing inside Qatar, a sovereign nation and close ally of the United States that is working very hard and bravely taking risks to broker peace, does not advance Israel or America's goals. However, eliminating Hamas, who have profited off the misery of those living in Gaza, is a worthy goal. I immediately directed Special Envoy Steve Witkoff to inform the Qatars of the impending attack, which he did. However, unfortunately, too late to stop the attack. I view Qatar as a strong ally and friend of the U.S. and feel very badly about the location of the attack. I want all of the hostages and the bodies of the dead released and this war to end now. I also spoke to Prime Minister Netanyahu after the attack. The Prime Minister told me that he wants to make peace. I believe this unfortunate incident would serve as an opportunity for peace. I also spoke to the Emir and Prime Minister of Qatar and thanked them for their support and friendship to our country. I assured them that such a thing will not happen again on their soil. I have directed Secretary of State Mark Rubio to finalize the defense cooperation agreement with Qatar. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So that was at 3:20 this morning. However, so Steve Bannon's like, yeah, Trump's turned his back on you. No, Bannon, stop it. Just stop your socialist, your JFK rhetoric. I mean, that's what it reminds me of. It's the Irish Catholic thing. I'm Irish. But that's what it is. That's what this problem seems to go back to, because these are all the Jew haters. I'm not saying they're all Irish Catholic, of course not. I mean, Jesus said most of the world would hate the Jews. The thing is, then Trump put out 6 hours ago, I am pleased to report that Elizabeth Terzakov, I know I'm botching that, a Princeton student whose sister is an American citizen, was just released by Hezbollah, militant Hezbollah, and is now safely in the American embassy in Iraq after being tortured for many months. I will always fight for justice and never give up. Hamas released the hostages now. So that's the thing. Like, I'm not really sure why, like, especially people in, the House of Representatives, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, did she just completely let it, like, totally lose her brain that we want our hostages back? They never want to talk about that. Do you notice that? There's dead Americans that are hostages that have been tortured and have died, and we want their bodies back. Does Marjorie Taylor Greene should care about that if she serves the USA? She just serves to go after Israel. So does Bannon. So, I mean, again, totally wanting to just act like that Netanyahu is just creating a genocide. No, he's not. I think what's going on is it's very planned, all this. And that's what's probably driving Bannon and Marjorie Taylor Greene to blow their hair's all on fire because of it. Is because everybody always stops Israel. This time, no one's stopping Israel. It's not a genocide. But something needs to be done. These are the monsters. Hamas is the monsters. They always have been. Hezbollah, I guess, is under control. Hezbollah has, I think I said a few months ago, they've chosen to, we're not going to, we're just, we're going to go with the flow here. They've not been a problem. So, you have to this shit cannot go on forever. The JFKs, the Bannons, I mean, really, it's the same carryover ideology, just hates the Jews, okay? But Trump has not turned his back on them. That what they all want, this is the reason why everybody always protests whenever Israel defends themselves, is they want Israel to stop. Yeah, God could stop them. God's not, but then have you read the Old Testament ever? It's full of God's like, yeah, go in there, kill them. This is the reason that Old Testament God, same God as the New Testament, but gets this bad rap where people are like, I don't want anything to do with that God, so I'm going to go to Burning Man instead. Where it's just all love and rainbows and unicorns and nakedness and orgies, and I could just be a shallow person pretending to care about something rather than follow the hateful Old Testament God. Yeah, well, but God was having them do it because they were, again, they were, throwing their babies into the fire of Moloch, like Burning Man. God only knows, wouldn't surprise me at all. Yeah. Burning Man is like a psych case study. It really is. So it fascinates me. Anyway, as a psych nurse. So in the Old Testament, God's like, no, they need to be killed. Yeah, because God has limits. God is not, that's what I mean, this fake, phony love shit that is phony, or like Peter Thiel, who doesn't want people talking about Armageddon because he would, it's too negative. We can't talk about the Antichrist. That's negative. We can only speak positively. Oh, stop it. Have you read the Old Testament? God was not always Mr. Positive. I mean, but he was, though, too, because when you understand what he was trying to do, you understand why he took the links that he did. Do you think people throwing babies into the fire of Moloch should still have their culture and we should take pity on them? No, they should be destroyed. I'm just saying. I mean, but this world, because of who, and God allows Satan to still wreak havoc, not because God wants that to happen, but because, again, it's based on the people. The people keep allowing themselves to be deceived. So it all these people that claim they want to save our country and stuff, it's like, then you need to look to God. Like this is the time you need to biblically mature and realize that, no, Israel's not the problem here. God is allowing Israel to finally clean up this. And I think a lot of these countries in the Middle East, they're saving face and acting like they'd be upset with Israel, but they're grateful to Israel. Mark my words, that's what will come out in the end. Yeah. and then it will put to shame all of these Jew haters.